You had a plan, a good one. Maybe it was a career, a relationship, a version of yourself you were sure you were becoming. And then, without asking permission, life changed the plan. Not a little, completely. And the worst part wasn't the loss itself, it was the feeling that something had gone wrong, that the universe had made a mistake, that you had made a mistake. So you do what most people do. You try to rebuild. Faster this time, tighter this time. A new plan, more control, more certainty. Because if you can just get things stable again, steady, predictable, then you'll be okay. But here's what nobody says out loud. Stability was always an illusion. Not because life is cruel, but because change is not the exception. Change is the only thing that has always been true. Buddhism has a word for this, Anicca, impermanence. It's one of the oldest teachings and one of the most misunderstood. Most people hear impermanence and think, nothing matters, everything ends, why try? But that's not what the Buddha taught. He taught that suffering doesn't come from things changing. It comes from believing they shouldn't. Think about the last time your plan collapsed. The pain wasn't just from what happened. It was from the gap between what was and what you believe should be. That gap is where all grief lives. And here's the insight that changes everything. The plan was never the point. The plan was a tool, a raft to help you across the river. But you were never meant to carry the raft on your back once you reach the other shore. When the plan ends, something doesn't fail, something arrives. The question is whether you're willing to keep walking without the map. I want to tell you about Katy. At 34, she had it mapped out. Project manager at a firm she believed in, engaged, a deposit on an apartment. Then within 8 months, the engagement ended. The firm downsized. The apartment fell through. Not one collapse, 3. She told me, I kept waiting for the part where it started making sense. She tried everything to recover quickly. New plans, new timelines, new goals. But the faster she rebuilt, the more exhausted she became. Because she was fighting the river instead of learning to move with it. One evening, she stopped, not out of wisdom, out of exhaustion. And in the stillness, something shifted. She stopped asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and started asking, "What is this asking of me?" That question didn't fix anything, but it opened something. She told me later, "I didn't find a new plan. I found out I could survive without one." When your plans fall apart, the mind immediately looks for someone to blame. You, life, timing. But impermanence doesn't play favorites. It doesn't punish or reward. It simply moves, as it has always moved, as it will always move. The practice isn't to stop making plans. Plans are how we move forward. The practice is to hold them lightly, the way you'd hold a bird, firmly enough that it doesn't fall, loosely enough that it can fly. When the plan changes, and it will, you don't have to collapse with it, because you are not the plan. You are the one who made it, and you can make another. If life has changed your plan recently, don't rush to replace it. Sit with the open space for a moment. It won't stay open forever. Nothing does. Leave a comment with one word, how you get through a time when your plan fell apart. And if this found you at the right moment, share it with someone who's standing in the rubble of a plan right now.